Okay, so welcome to this new video, and today I'm going to explain you how you can install CUDA, CuDNN and nvidia-drivers on a newly installed Linux machine. So just bear with me and I will guide you step by step on how to install Tensorflow and also PyTorch on your system, along with the whole machine learning tools which you can use, namely CUDA and CuDNN, which are essential for any of these machine learning frameworks to run, or deep learning frameworks, right? So just bear with me with this one. Now this is the second time I am actually recording all of this stuff, because for some reason my mic was not on, right? That's a bummer, because I recorded like 24 minutes of footage and just noticed that my mic was off. So pretty much bad luck, you can say. So just bear with me, right? So let's get started. First off, also another disclaimer, I'm going to link all of these stuff which I'm going to explain here down in the description box below, so check them out, right? And so first off, we will go to the official NVIDIA documentation for CUDA, right? So in here you can see another thing, this guide is strictly for Ubuntu, because CUDA, NVIDIA and everything else supports Ubuntu officially first, and the rest of the distros, they're just like floating in the water. Now many of you might argue with me, but just check on the guides, like how extensive guide is available for the latest Ubuntu and how extensive it's available for latest any other distro, right? Oh yeah, Debian and RHEL are also supported, but I don't know if any sane person uses them on their personal computer. So moving on, prerequisites, right? You will need just go to your Ubuntu and you'll just need this one, right? Linux headers. So I'm just going to copy, let me just clear the terminal, and you'll have to just paste it, right? Enter, and mine is already installed, so that's why it's saying already installed, but you will need to install this, right? Once that's done, moving on to this package manager and click on Ubuntu. So what stuff is written here, I'm just not going to go through them, because these create some kind of discrepancies. For example, what is this distro and what is this architecture? A new user will be confused. What are these meant, right? So not going into this, just go to this one, and let me just find the link. It's obviously there, yeah. So this CUDA toolkit link is given here, just go into that. Now this is one. So by default these options will not be selected. I have just selected them, so let me just clear them all, right? It will just take one moment to load. Yeah, so here you will need to click on Linux, then your x86 PC, then your Ubuntu 20.04 and Deb network. Now why 20.04? As you can see here, I'm not running 20.04. I'm running 21.10 because I am having the latest kernel, right? But the packages compiled for 20.04 work all the way through, right? So because this is the latest one which they support, just go with this one. Now why this Deb network option? The Deb network downloads the latest version of CUDA and makes sure that whenever you update your system, the latest version of CUDA is also updated along with that. So this is sort of like a win-win situation for the average user, because you will not have to dive deep into each and everything. So what you do is, once this is selected, these links are all actually active and are fetched dynamically, so you need not worry about whether a link is down or not, right? So just triple click and select everything, copy them, go to a new terminal and just paste them, right? It's that simple. Just press enter and everything will be done. Now I'm not going to do this because I'm having some issues. I guess you should make sure you will have latest NVIDIA drivers beforehand, right? So that's a kind of a bummer on my end. So on Ubuntu by default, if you just open your application launcher, now I'm using here one of my custom build of DWM. That's why I have this somewhat stylish looking launcher. But you will have you on your GNOME desktop environment. Just click on the start menu or the start button, and the GNOME's application viewer will launch. In that you can search for additional drivers and this stuff will pop up, right? Let me just make this a little bit smaller because you can't see the big one, right? So here you will have to select the latest NVIDIA driver available. So if you have a fairly new GPU, I would recommend going with the latest drivers, but for some reason the latest driver, that is 495, causes some issues with my particular graphic card. My laptop doesn't goes to sleep, it doesn't hibernate, and some stuff happens. I'm sure this will be fixed in the next release, so I'm just going to skip this release for now. I'm sticking with the 470 driver. But if you don't have any issues, just go with this 495 driver and you will be fine. So what will you do is you will click on this and you'll click on apply, and you'll have to enter your password and everything will be done seamlessly, right? So I'm just going to close this because I don't need it. Moving on, so the stuff we copied earlier, let me just paste it again, right? You once that's done, you will just copy this one and paste it, right? It's that simple, and your CUDA will be installed, right? You don't need to do anything else. Now a step-by-step guide on what is happening here. It gets a sort of like a key, okay, to the repository. Then it moves this into your repository, apt repositories, right, or sources. Then it adds the keys, adds the repositories, and it updates and installs the CUDA. Done. So next time NVIDIA releases an update, it will be automatically updated in your system, right? How will you check if the installation was successful or not? Just right here, this command. I will list this command also in the description box below, so just check it out, right? Once I press enter, and you can see here it's having CUDA user local CUDA. The user local CUDA is symlinked to CUDA 11.4. Now why 11.4? Because I'm running an outdated version. The latest one is 11.5, but I'm not going to update it right now because it's compatible with the 495 driver and I refuse to upgrade, right? But you will have 11.5 if you are doing it in the around this time till the next release. The next release might be 11.6 and whatnot. Okay, so far so good. You can check by writing nvcc-v. Hopefully this comes out. Now if it doesn't come out or it gives some error like nvcc not found, you'll need to add a few lines to your bashrc file, which I will also list down below. Now I don't use bash as my default shell or Linux shell. I use .zsh. If you have zsh, you can just append these lines in the zshrc. If you don't have zsh, just follow this one. Copy these lines to your bashrc. Just type here. Now I'm using vim, that's why I'm writing here vim, but you can also use nano if you are a new user. So in here I have these two lines which actually guides your system to the default nvcc, to the installed nvcc on your system, right? So I will copy what just happened. Yeah, so I will copy these lines also in the description box below. You will just need to copy these two lines in your .bashrc. Now I'm here using zsh, so it's zshrc. If you are using any other shell, it will be that shell's rc file, right? So you'll have your home bashrc file in your home directory. At the end you will paste those two, right? Okay, anyways, let me just show you how you can do this. So I'm just copying these two lines, going to bashrc, and at the end I'm just pasting it. What is happening? What is happening? Okay, something was broken right there, right? I will fix those in some other video or other stuff, right? So everything so far so good. Let's just quit it. Yeah, right. So once that's done, open a new terminal, or you can source your RC file. I would recommend open a new terminal. Okay, I guess that's also done. So moving on, what do we have next? So CUDA is installed, right? The next step is CuDNN. If you have done through this deb network installation, your repository is already configured. The next step you only need to do is sudo apt install libcudnn 8 and libcudnn8-dev, right? And press enter, and these two will be installed automatically. You don't need to follow any other process, you don't need to follow any other guide or anything else, and libcudnn will be installed seamlessly. Okay, so that's done. Now if in this network step you encounter any issue, like, or you have a PC which is offline, not connected to the internet, you can go with this run file option. Now what's this run file? The run file is basically an offline installer, and it doesn't come with those perks like automatic updating. So if your NVIDIA driver gets updated or a new version of CUDA is released, you will not get it automatically, and you need to install it with the run file again and again and again, always, right? Because there's no repository for it to use, right? So what you do is you'll copy these lines. Wait, I pressed Ctrl+Shift+C. Bad habits, right? So you'll copy these two lines, and like previously you'll paste it and press enter. Now I'm not going to download the whole thing because I've already downloaded it on some other, I think, dependencies. It was if I can spell correctly, dependencies, right? So here I have CUDA, this one downloaded. So if I just write here sudo sh this one, so this is the run file which you will download once that wget command is finished, and this will start from here, right? I'm using an older run file because I just don't want any incompatibilities with my system. So you just need to wait for a few moments because it's extracting. You can see my CPU usage is going up, and once this extraction part is done, you will be greeted with an ncurses installer, on which one step you have to follow is you have to uncheck the driver option, because NVIDIA and other distros, the distro specifically releases NVIDIA drivers which might have some kind of kinks, so that your system runs smoothly. Just don't install driver from this option, but a driver comes packaged in the run file itself. So if you have like a server and all, you can just install it with the run file. So let's just wait patiently, or I guess I can just talk you through the path. So there's also this CuDNN guide if you have any issues. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, you need this one, zlibg. Yeah, that's why I always recommend you to install by the help of this guide, right? So another terminal I will need to show you, right? Before installing CuDNN, just do this and press enter. You can see it's already done, downloaded, but for some reason I missed because it's not a planned video, right? I don't have time to plan videos. Right. So once that's done, it will give you a BS warning like existing package manager installation of driver found. It's strongly recommend that you remove this before continuing. We can just continue, right? Don't remove anything, don't listen to what this crap is, right? And here you need to write accept. No one reads EULA, right? Your CoolKit, okay? That's why you use Ubuntu, otherwise you will be using Arch Linux. So what I was telling earlier is you will need to uncheck driver. Now how will you uncheck driver? You can't just click with your mouse, right? Clicking doesn't work here. You just highlight it with arrow keys, press the space bar, okay? Or also enter. I think enter also works, I guess. Yeah, enter also works. So I would not these samples, I would not recommend you to install these samples, demo and documentation. I think no one needs all of this, right? You only need the CUDA toolkit, so just skip them. Make sure CUDA toolkit is selected and everything else is just BS, right? And click on install and it will automatically install CUDA. I'm not going to proceed on installing CUDA again because it might break any symlinks in my system, so I'm just going to quit it. But you can just click on install and everything will be done. And also make sure you paste that stuff right in the bashrc, this one, vim, is the previous thing yet? Yeah, vim.zshrc. Here I have this one. Yeah, so make sure you put these lines in your bashrc file and zshrc file, right? If you have a zshrc file. If you don't have a zshrc file, don't bother with it, right? So we have our CUDA done, CUDA toolkit is done, CuDNN is done, and now what do we need to do? You need to restart once, right? Why restart? Linux doesn't need restarts, but I would recommend you restart it because there are some kernel modules for your drivers. If you have updated your drivers, those need to be loaded, and doing a dirty run is not recommended anyways, because you're not running a race, you're running a marathon, and you want your system to be as stable as possible for any particular work, right? So reboot and come back to this video. So I hope you have rebooted and come up on your system. Now the next step is we will install Tensorflow. How would you install Tensorflow? Go to this official documentation website, and here on the front page you will have your pip install Tensorflow option. Now Tensorflow for GPU and CPU you don't need other packages, because as of today, or as of this date, November, both of these come in a separate, in the same package. So you just need to run this command. I'm just going to run it in a separate window just so that I have history, right? Pip install Tensorflow. By default in Ubuntu based systems, Python is Python 3 and pip is pip 3. So to avoid all of those, I would recommend you use this syntax just to make sure. Now I have already installed Tensorflow, so it's not showing me the download progression and all. So once that's done, you can check it by using this command. Is GPU available? Is GPU available, right? I will just post this also in the description box below. Once that's done, just run it, and you can see here, I guess you can't see here actually, let me just reduce it, right? You can see now the device GPU memory is detected, GeForce GTX 1050 Ti, that's my graphics card, and also compute capability detected. And lastly, it's writing here true. The true is because of our command, like is GPU available, it returns true, right? So our Tensorflow is installed and it's detecting our graphic card, and thus we have reached our conclusion, right? So we have successfully installed CUDA, CuDNN and Tensorflow to check whether our compute capabilities are correctly detected or not, right? So now if you would like to install PyTorch, just go to your PyTorch installation, click on, let me just go back, click on install, and here you need to select pip CUDA 11.3. So just copy this whole thing, copy it and paste it here, right? And press enter, and it will be installed on your system like that. Okay, so with that, this guide has come to an end, and I hope you learned something or other. The blue reflection on my specs might just be distracting for some of you, but what can I do? The screen reflects, my glasses reflects light this way. So I hope you liked it, and I hope it helps you set up CUDA, CuDNN and NVIDIA drivers on your system. And on my next tutorial or video, I will show you how to do it with Docker containers and all, and how you can use NVIDIA NGC. So stay tuned for that video. I don't know when that video will be released or when I will publish that video, but for now, bye bye and take care. I'm very bad at outros, so keep that in mind.